Hey, good morning. It's Fort Worth Playboy, and you're watching the Fort Worth Playboy Morning Show. I had to walk through it slowly. It's a Monday, first day of the week, and apparently we're right in the path of this eclipse. So we'll see what this day holds going forward. But I wanted to reach out and say thank you for coming in here, watching this broadcast. And what is this? Well, Bunny and I, we try to convey that when people come to our timeline, they're going to get actionable, on the ground, usable advice, tactics that they can use that day that will help them with your game, help you with your pickup, help you with your relationships, and help you with your sex life. The umbrella of the red pill, which we're under, which includes like men's rights, intersectional dynamics, men's rights movement, and so many other large picture things. We kind of like let the other guys debate that, and we focus in. They do the strategy, they do the overreaching ideology, and we stay out of it. We focus in on the tactics, the stuff that's on the ground, the day to day that men can use to move girls from complete stranger to in their bed in a systematized, reliable method, and that women appreciate. So it's to attract to women and to make yourself more attractive to women, and increase women's enjoyment of life because they're around more attractive men. So there's never really any downside. It's easy to do this with a clear conscience. But we want things that you can actually use and philosophies that can help you move forward. And we'll get started today. And like I said, we always start with at least at this moment, we start with a maxim from Chateau Artiste. And let's see if I can get this to work. Hang on. And we're there. Perfect. Okay. So in the beginning, maxim number 7, and this is the second number 7. I think on Friday we had a number 7. And like I said, Royacy, when he was writing Chateau, he was a alcohol distributor, a rep in Washington, D.C. So I think he might have been a little bit hungover sometimes when he was writing this and didn't really keep track of his maxims. I mean, he wrote Chateau in 20-minute bursts when he felt like it. And he was very consistent and prolific over like a 7-year period. But this is maxim number 7, or in most cases 7A. The sweeter and more innocent a girl seems, the greater the likelihood she has been in a gangbang. Corollary to maxim number 7. Always assume she is a whore. It helps kick the legs out from under the pedestal you will be tempted to put her on, and is more often than not true. This is a good example of you have to get rid of all the Disney, all the blue pill, all of that out of your head. And what he's saying is the sweeter and more innocent she appears, the more likely she's been ran through. And there's no telling. That's where guys, and it's your default because you've been doing it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that you give her the benefit of the doubt. You actually listen to what she's saying and you hear it and you take it at face value, which we also try to teach you how to translate what women are saying. For example, she says, I backpacked through Europe for 6 months. And so the default for most blue-pilled guys is, wow, that sounds very adventurous, because to him it would be an adventure. To him it would be interesting and exciting, and you see all these new places and meet all these people. And for a girl, backpacking through Europe means lots of random sex hookups, guys that your friends will never know about, a different guy every night, staying in hostels and hooking up with 1 or 2 guys a day. And it's just a completely different experience. Because you can ask girls like, tell me about the history of Europe. And they're like, what? Because none of that matters. Or or sightseeing. Sightseeing means going out and meeting dudes. And that's the difference. So when you learn game, when you understand how this works, you realize that what girls put out in front of you isn't always accurate. And the sweeter and the more innocent she seems, the greater the likelihood she's hiding quite the history behind her. And make no mistake, it's not like if you see a girl with a bunch of tattoos, the likelihood is she's not been ran through. The likelihood, of course, is that it's higher, or they have, a bull ring or nipple piercings. I mean, these are indicators, but don't allow a girl's innocence, what she's projecting, to fool you. That way, like he says, you can assume she's a whore. It helps kick the legs out from under the pedestal. And what I always tell guys is, just assume she is a slut, and you'll be pleasantly surprised if she's not. But again, it will allow you to kind of deal with her on her own level, because girls do not want to be put on a pedestal. It allows you to treat her like disposable in the beginning, which is what she wants to be treated like. She doesn't want to be up on a pedestal because she knows what she's done in the past. She knows she banged her high school football or, volleyball coach. She knows that she did a gangbang in college. She knows that she hooked up with her best friend's boyfriend. Girls know that they've done these things. So, and they keep it secret, but when you treat them well, especially in the beginning when they haven't earned it, they wonder what else you don't get. Like, how dumb are you? And then they'll run you. Then they'll try to put you in the friend zone. You'll get all kinds of shit tests that you don't really deserve. Again, a lot of this is mentally to put her in a certain place where you can seduce her, and it makes you more attractive because you just get it. And that's a very important part of seduction, is bring her down to where you can deal with her. And again, all girls are like 18 years old, no matter what age they are. They're still 18 mentally, and they want to have fun. And these are simple things that you can do mentally, because a lot of this is mental trash, to keep her kind of like where you can have fun with her and not put her up on this pedestal. And girls hate, I hate it to say this, they hate to be treated well, especially in the beginning. So if you have fun with her, and you're just, relaxed and self-possessed and consider yourself more important than she is, you'll probably hit it just right. We always say be irrationally self-confident, and you'll need that just to hit it just right. A lot of guys go, well, I don't want to come off as cocky. No, your nice guyness will balance it out, and you'll hit it just right. So you always assume she's a slut. And again, if she's not, you'll be pleasantly surprised. But more often than not, she'll start telling you things over time in confidence that pretty much confirm your suspicions, because all girls have this secret sex life that they are masters at hiding from other men and from their friends and from their family. So if she's healthy. So that's the deal. Maxim number 7. The sweeter and more innocent a girl seems, the greater the likelihood she has been in a gangbang. Corollary, always assume she is a whore. It helps kick the legs out from under the pedestal you will be tempted to put her on, and is more often than not true. This makes it easier to attract her, and it makes you more attractive to her. Everybody wins when you approach it in this manner. So that's maxim number 7. Again, that's what game is. Learn charisma. Attracting more women, more quality women, and more women in general, and also becoming more attractive to them. And one thing I always try to convey to guys is a lot of this is not for everybody. The vast majority of guys, like your buddies, they got like maybe a girl, they get one girlfriend in high school and they marry her like right out because they know it's not something they're interested in. Most men are not that interested in girls, attraction, seduction, and sex. They find it all to be unfortunate, uncomfortable, and a pain in the ass. This is why so many men are happy as a motherfucker to marry the first chubby girl who gives them a crumb of pussy. Now he can get back to gaming, drinking, drugging, and getting high full time. And that's really the vast majority. Like, you know, when you drive and you see these suburbs and there's like tens of thousands of houses as far as you can see, there's very few master seducers in there. There's very few alpha men. There's a majority, 90, 95%, maybe more, of just beta guys that like to work and get drunk and follow their hobbies, be it radio controlled cars or hunting or fishing or trains or motorcycles. It doesn't matter. Again, the vast majority, and this is what I always try to convey to people, is like fitness. In our little world, almost everyone takes care of themselves in some manner. They exercise. They know this is part of life. Well, in reality, less than 1% of the population in the U.S. exercises. And, you know, is that possible? Yeah. We build health clubs off the projections of less than 1% of the local population working out. And we still have room for more people because no one works out. You just see it a lot and you key into it. It's kind of like, you know, your reticular activating cortex. You start thinking of something, you think of a red Toyota truck. You start seeing red Toyota trucks. Well, if you're a fitness guy, every time you look around, you're seeing other fitness people because you're key into it. But the fact of the matter is, no one works out. And most men are not that interested in girls or attraction or seduction or sex. Again, it's a necessary evil or discomfort that they'll go through, as long as it's not too much trouble and lands in their lap, that they'll deal with to move on to the next thing so they can just move on. They just want a girl that's not morbidly obese. They'll take chubby girls and doesn't bitch at them constantly. And that's all they want. That's why when you look around, you're like seeing these guys like packing up the overweight wife and, you know, renting the cabin over the weekend and moving 4 or 5 kids. I mean, he's happy. It's what he wants. It's good enough. I mean, it truly is. It allows him to like go watch NASCAR 5 weekends out of the year. I mean, it's a balance and it's a trade-off. But if it weren't for these guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. It's just the way it is. It'd be like just chaos. So most men, you can't fault them because that's how they're wired. Most men are not that interested in girls, attraction, seduction, and sex. They find it all to be unfortunate, uncomfortable, and a pain in the ass. And you get guys, I mean, guys just clam up. I mean, they truly like start sweating when you get them around any women. They don't like it. So you have to kind of balance out like the things that we know and our enthusiasms and our knowledge and how we see the world with how the vast majority sees it is completely different. And it's not good or bad. It's, you know, it's all needed. Everybody needs to fulfill their role to make everything move forward. And that's why these men are very happy. Just to first girl, bam, I want to get married, just get it out of the way. Then they can move on with the next thing, which is usually working and pursuing their hobbies and some type of addiction, either drinking or getting high all the time. It's just the way it is, at least in the U.S. So that's a real deal. And it doesn't mean better or worse, just it all balances out. When a girl says, when you're asking her out, I'll let you know, can I get back with you on that? I'd rather learn more about you here. Like say on the dating apps, you're trying to move her off. Just go ahead and start cutting it off. These are no statements. You want girls that are yes, not maybes are okay if you have time, and no's, you need to ferret that out quickly. If there's not an enthusiasm for you, pitch them to the side and move on to the next girl. You want to get used to being around yes girls. Anything that's wishy-washy here or there. Some of the more advanced guys will recommend like a takeaway. I say, don't worry about it. If you're already having to manipulate on the front end just to get them out the first time or to get them off the apps, the very basic questions like, hey, let's get off this thing because it's kind of sketchy. I don't want to lose your number, and just move her. If they go, I'll let you know. I'll get back with you on that, or I'd rather learn more about you here. If they're hesitant, because some girls are like just truly like skittish, and they're going to be skittish with you. They're going to be skittish with the guy that's a perfect match for them. They're going to be skittish with everyone, and you don't want to be around them because it's a pain in the ass. You want happy, enthusiastic yes girls. Okay, here's my number. Oh yeah, I'd love to go. You want yeses, yes girls. You want to find more of them, and you're going to have to sift through a lot of these. And if you're wasting your time trying to convert no or maybe girls, you're missing out on the yes girls that are passing you by because you're fucking around with the wrong girls. Again, one of the keys about being advanced in game is you get better at picking the girls because you're better at picking up the girls that are enthusiastic about you. So it just makes it easier. I mean, after a while, you become used to it, like sex on the first or the second date, because not necessarily because your game is better. It is, but the girls you pick to go out with are better suited for you and your game. So it really accelerates the entire seduction and attraction process. Ren, and I'm not even going to try your last name, buddy. I was friends with this shy girl, teacher's pet. She wanted me to teach her fluid mechanics after class. I told her it's not that hard and taught her in the class itself. I passed up some pussy. I regret, as you say. Yes. Again, indicators of interest. If a girl puts herself in your proximity and she meets your minimum standards, by all means, say hi to her, try to strike up a conversation and see where it'll go. Girls don't ask a guy for anything without some interest in him. And if it's up to you where it goes, she can friend zone you, and that's your fault, or you can move her towards fuck buddy or nothing. Again, when they ask you for a favor, it gives you an opening. You can either move her towards, your side, or you can see if she's trying to move you towards the friend zone and you're not available for that. And you have enough friends and you'd rather not deal with it. So that's the real deal. When they give you an opening, when they reach out to you, if a girl reaches out to you for any reason at all, they're trying to get a conversation going. Again, guys, every time you learn indicators of interest from women and how common it is for them to reach out to a guy with some type of completely vanilla question or concern or request, it's simply to give him an opportunity or give you an opportunity to ask her out and start making things happen. You got to remember, girls can't do that. And this girl was giving him a chance to make things happen, but he missed it. Or like the guy yesterday, he had a little slim Asian girl. She says, I sure would like to see where you live. And he pulls out his phone and shows her on Apple Maps instead of taking her to his place to show her where he lives. And he's still kicking himself. And when you learn indicators of interest, you'll be more readily and move faster because you kind of have to reinforce this stuff and you'll catch it more quickly. And you'll go, oh, she wants this. She wants to get to know me. She wants me to lead her to bed. You start catching it sooner because in my book, Indicators of Interest, How to Know When a Girl is Interested in You, it gives you both through interpersonal at every level, even before you've made contact with her, indicators that she is interested in you approaching her. And once you approach her, the indicators that say keep moving forward, and even indicators of interest through text and direct messaging, and how they will behave when they're not in your presence. that you can pick up on. Again, the faster, the more you drive this in home, the faster you'll react positively. And you go, yeah, we should study. We should study at my apartment. You start getting faster through practice, and you start seeing more indicate. You're like, shit, there were women that were available that would willingly have sex with me if I had only known what to look for. Again, you start seeing more of it, and then it snowballs. There's just like Royce would say, you respect the momentum. And once you get 2 or 3 girls in bed in a short amount of time, you start having more confidence, and then they can literally smell it on you. So once you meet up with a few yes girls, again, girls that are enthusiastic for you, you'll stop trying to convince no and maybe girls to meet up. Girls you once thought of as a challenge, you'll view as unnecessary pain in the ass. Men don't, we're challenged every day. Most men past a certain age or rank or status, you spend your entire day solving problems. You're solving business problems, you're solving academic problems, you're solving logistics problems. And even if you work for somebody else, you're a truck driver, you're solving the problem of moving this load from point A to point B, and everything in the world is standing in your way. Again, at every level, men are basically solving problems all day. When you come home, you don't want any more problems. The last thing you want is more challenges. And sometimes some of these girls will get the wrong idea because they want a guy who's out there being challenged all day. So they think they should be a challenge to the guy. When with women, we really want them to be naked and enthusiastic and available. And that's it. And that's simple stuff. And a girl does that consistently in front of you, she pretty much has a boyfriend at the end of the day. But that's the real deal, is once you meet up with enough yes girls, a few of them, you start keying into what enthusiasm for you looks like, you'll start, you hear guys are always saying next, next, next. You have to get good at discerning yes, maybe, and no girls before you can just start nexting them. But you will become faster because through success and through meeting more yes girls, you start recognizing what they look like when they're interacting with you. That way, if they're not showing that type of enthusiasm for you, you can move on. And the faster you move on, and you will, because you become better at this, you'll be on to the next yes girl. So it really does, the whole process accelerates and really folds in speed over time. Delicious tacos. And I think I screen capped this because I use it all the time. If you don't follow him, you should. Very interesting guy, and has some interesting writing, and it's always, he's in LA and he has a very interesting life. So you won't be a lesser person for following him. It'll enhance, and he'll definitely pick up chicks. This is common knowledge. I can score with 18-year-olds all day. I can't score a 35-year-old where we can stand each other. Again, he's in his mid-30s, and he may be a little bit older now. But what you notice, and this is one of those where we encourage guys to date 10 years younger, is when you're 35, 40, 45, and most common you come out of a divorce, your default is to date women your own age. Let's say you were 22 when you got married, your wife was 20. So you're used to that peer group of a girl just a couple years younger than you. And that's normal. That's your age appropriate group. And so let's say you get divorced at 40, 42, your default is to start looking around at other 40-year-old women. When really it's a horrible idea. This is a common challenge. Older women tend to be more hostile to men their age. Maybe it's they feel you're a peer, therefore equal, and or all their bad experiences are with their peer group. And we've reinforced this, and Bunny backs me up on this, is that, if you're dealing with a 40-year-old woman and you're 42, you remind her of her ex-husband, every guy that's ever dumped her, every boss that's treated her bad, every pump and dump, every time she's, been ghosted, all these horrible things, because you're in that same cohort and you're a peer. She sees you as an equal. Whereas when you date a girl that's 30 and you're 40, there's enough gap there that there's some implied superiority or maturity, or your experiences are just greater because you've got an extra decade on her and you've been around, you've seen more. And it's actually easier to be around them. And they'll be more enthusiastic about you. And so that's why we tell guys to start at a 10-year gap, which is ideal, and then work wider than that as you become more comfortable with it. But your peer group, after about 35, is probably the hardest group to game. You would think, well, we have more in common, but most of our bad experiences by that age are with guys that resemble you. So they're going to be more hesitant, resistant, the whole thing. Think of a negative word. That's how she'll see you. So you want to go 10 years younger, starting at about 30, 32. Even if you think about it, even girls that were really had their shit together in high school dated guys in college. And then girls that were in college tend to date guys that were, seniors or already out. So, you have to look at where you're at. And if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, go 10 years younger, you'll find girls that are more enthusiastic about your presence. They have more energy. They're more fun. And that's what you'll find. So, comparatively, relatively. And it just works better. And if it's not your thing, that's okay too. You just got to test this stuff and see what works for you. And I guess we went through most of the stuff that we started. Let's see what text game. Get into the habit of using as few words as possible. But I had one here. Here's an important one that actually most people don't get. Texting is not where you build rapport. Like when you meet girls like online, you don't actually date them. When people hear online dating, they're thinking, I've got to how am I going to date this girl online? You don't. All you do is meet her. No different than if you're out having drinks and you bump into a girl and you get her number, or you're at school and you get the number from a girl that's in your class. Anywhere, or at the gym and you get her number. It's no different. The initial point of contact is inconsequential. It does not matter, because that's all online dating is a point of contact, no different than bumping into her at the grocery store, being referred to from a friend, which is slightly different. But again, it's the initial contact. Immediately, as fast as you can, you want to get her offline and in front of you. You cannot build rapport by text. Texting should be contact, a little bit of flirty banter, logistics, get them in front of you. Women are stronger online. Men are far stronger in person. They can see your face. They can see your charisma, your presence. There's all kinds of things that work to the men's advantage in person. And that's why women, when they go, well, I want to kind of get to know you on this app. Okay. And you're like, no, I just block her, because you don't have time for that. You want to be meeting girls in person where things can move from complete stranger to naked in your bed. That's what you're there for. And that's what they're there for too. That's what a date is, a fun-filled event that can lead to sex. And that's what you want. You want to go out on more meetups, more dates, with more yes girls. So it all works together. I hope this guy can help you out, guys. Again, if you like what you see, go to Fort Worth Playboy at gumroad.com. We have all of my products there, indicators of interest. Whatever your challenge is, we have a solution for it. And you only learn by focusing, studying, and applying it and getting better. And then you just layer this stuff up. Again, that indicators of interest, if you don't know how to spot that, you're at a great disadvantage. A lot of the stuff that you're doing, you got a perfect online profile, you're meeting girls in person, but you can't read them. That's not good. You need to be able to read women online and in person and gauge their interest levels so you can adjust your game. When you're in the game, did you use... Oh, I live in an entertainment district. Everything right below me are restaurants and bars. I moved here after a divorce simply because I did not want to get depressed. and it's like a half mile from my gym. Everything's in one place. But the logistics that worked for me is I worked out a program, basically a blueprint that I put in how to build your dating system, because you want it to be repeatable. And that's what I use. And I use bars, like 2 or 3 bars that I got really good at using. Again, you want that home field advantage. There's all kinds of advantages to using a system. So if you're interested, it's in the book, How to Build Your Dating System. And again, we do have answers to like small town dating when you can't drink or the girls are underage. So these are small things that can be addressed. But again, the overall picture and how to build your system, it's in that book, How to Build Your Dating System. And it just saves you months, if not years, of trial and error, because I did the trial and error for you. If you guys like this, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for the question, Ren. And I hope you guys have a great day.